The M4A1S is overpowered, and so it's a waste of time playing CSGO. That's the word on the street, or at least it was the word on the street. We're sure our favourite YouTube commentator is satisfied now the massive nerfs to the A1S have come in. Maybe it's time we consider that our friend here has a point. So we're finally going to answer the question. Is the A1S still overpowered, or is the A4 just as good now? Let's start with what made it OP in the first place. The A1S had been the ugly virgin cousin of the ripped Chad A4 for quite a while. While it looked cool and it had lower recoil, having 10 fewer bullets and, perhaps more importantly, firing slower made it almost objectively inferior. Yes, it had no tracers, but it also killed slower and had fewer bullets to abuse those no tracers with. Attempts to up the magazine to 25 made no difference, and even making it cheaper did little to persuade people to use the suppressed version of everyone's favourite AT-18-4 machine. Valve blessed those of us who can't aim at the head with one last fateful A1S buff, a damage buff. Hallelujah. At 600 rounds per minute, the A1S fires 10 bullets per second. That means when it took 5 bullets to kill, it took half a second, and it now takes 0.4 of a second. That's a 20% decrease in kill time. The A4 sits in between that at 0.45, while the AK importantly also sits at 0.4. The game is supposedly balanced around the Ts having better weapons, and while yes, the one-shot headshot is a massive boon, when the CTs kill in the same length of time as you do, you either headshot or you die. This has allowed the CTs to take straight duels much easier, kill faster to ready for a trade frag, and therefore multi-kill easier. While 1/20th of a second doesn't sound like a lot of time, with each kill that increases exponentially. You kill one bullet faster, you take one fewer bullet in a fight, you have more health, you get to cover quicker, you don't have to reload as often, and yes, your smoke-bound damage sticks more easily. The A1S was, as our good friend suggested, overpowered, and for some reason it was cheaper than the A4 still. Daddy Valve went soft with the nerf bat, reducing the bullet count to 20, which, while that is a nice change and it limits the multi-frag potential and the smoke spam ability, it doesn't touch the damage. It's also still cheaper than the A4, which kills slower and has tracer. Some have made the switch back to the A4, cucking themselves out of damage and $200 every time they buy a rifle, in favour of a bigger magazine. Which, fine, if you really value those extra bullets over stopping power, that's your prerogative. You're wrong, but we still love you. The A1S itself might not be overpowered anymore, depending on who you ask, but the A4 is certainly underpowered once you compare the two, and that probably points to one thing. The M4A1S is still overpowered, but it's not a waste of time to play CSGO. It's just a waste of time to buy M4A4 skins right now. Sorry old pal, not today. That's our opinion, but what's yours? We know what at least one person is going to say, but do you believe the propaganda? Should the prices be switched? Should the A1S's damage be nerfed? Maybe it could be compensated with a fire rate buff to keep it in line with the A4. Do you think the A1S even needs a nerf? As always, let us know below. We read every comment, because our egos just won't let us ignore them. And one last thing, abuse those 11 round CT sides while you can, they won't last forever.